Show it to me now! The world that I truly desire! Stride Generation! That was just for fun. Hey guys. So I'm going to be talking about the new Chronojet Dragon Stride deck set that just came out. And I'm really excited about it. I really like this product. For those of you who don't know, Chronojet Dragon was actually an old card that came out in Vanguard G. And so it's been brought into standard. So I'm gonna talk about the product itself, the contents. You can see here the goodies inside, and also um, the stride mechanic. For those who are not familiar with it, I'm gonna explain that as well, and gonna sort of explain the basic game plan. So when you get this deck, those who are not familiar with Chronojet Dragon can sort of have an idea on how to play it. So first of all, it's not this, but actually this banner that was attached to the storage box here. It has the contents over here written down in Japanese and all that. This is the Stride deck set. So it's a special series. It's part of a special series of decks, and this is the third one. So that's pretty nice detail, but that's about it for that. I'm gonna move that away and get to the storage deck box now. So as you can see, it has a full art of Chronojet Dragon, and it's really cool. On the side here you have Gear Chronicles clan symbol, nice back art, and then on the other side you have the Dark States Nation symbol. So it's pretty cool. On the inside, when you open it up, actually I've already opened it, but there was this box inside, and these goodies were on top while the deck was put in here. So after you take everything out, you can take the box out as well, and then there's space here to put deck cases or cards, but I recommend putting deck cases instead. As for the size of it, you can actually fit two overdressed deck boxes or deck cases. That's how you call it. In here, it will fit about two of them, and if you take a V series one, then it'll fit two of them as well. But if you take one of the old ones from G era, or one of the OG ones before G, then it can fit about like three of those, because those are like a little smaller. And I think it's really just cool that they gave you a storage box here. So just gonna clear space up a bit by putting that away as well. And now you also get this note that I want to explain real quick. So this note basically just says that there was a mistake on the packaging. They wrote that in this set, the contents for the contents, it's written that you get 50 cards plus 9 cards. So it's not 50 cards. The correct listing is actually 51 cards in the main deck. 51 cards, yeah, for the main deck, and 9 cards for not the main deck. And that extra card actually is Steam Fighter Balif. So for the actual deck itself, if you're not changing anything, it runs 3 copies of Balif, which is why they listed it at 50 50 cards for the main deck, right? So that's why there was 50 cards, but instead they decided to give us that extra copy of Belif. So now we have 51 cards, so we have an extra card, and that's kind of nice actually, because you can now play 4 Belif if you want. I would recommend keeping him at 3, or maybe even 2, but 4 if you want also fine, because you have that extra copy now. Just want to explain that this deck set also is coming out in English, by the way, and it'll be coming on February 24th. I think by that time, in the English version, they're gonna fix that like listing problem on the packaging, so you probably won't get the note. Aside from that though, Now we get to the actual contents, which are this acrylic fighters counters, like really cool. They look so nice. But another nice thing about that is they actually come with this. So this is what you would use to store the fighters counters. So whenever they gave out fighter counters with like start trial decks and all that before, you didn't get this, right, because it's like really big. So it's nice that they give it to you now, because it's annoying to use the fighters counters without having the without having a proper place to put them on. So now that you have something like this, like I think it's really good thing. Maybe I'll actually use fighters counters now. These like acrylic ones, that is, because they gave it. So we're just also gonna put that away to clear space. And now we're finally gonna get to the deck itself. So let's start off with the grade 3s. I think I'll keep this on the side for now. I'll keep this here as well. Again, just to clear out space. So we have Chronojet Dragon. It is an encounter card, meaning it's not really a new card to Vanguard. So the cool thing about it is that this Chronojet Dragon is the original Chronojet, as in its skills are the same as the original, and its card text and all that is the same as the original Chronojet Dragon, which had 11k power and no Persona Ride as well. There's no Persona Ride, but there's something else in place of that, and I'll explain that later. So because of that, the really cool thing is that yes, you can play this like a regular one that's in standard, but you can also use if you have an old copy of Chronojet Dragon from maybe the trial deck that was in G, for example, you can actually use that copy as well, because it's the same thing. As long as it's Chronojet Dragon, because the card skills are exactly the same, you can run you can use those in here as well if you want a different art. But I think this art is really cool as well, and the foiling here is really nice. And so you have 4 copies of this, of course, and the remaining 3 copies are not in foil actually. So in most trial decks you have foiled, you have like one random card that's in foil, and only like 1 or 2 cards. I think like lately in the like in the start decks and trial decks, you get your grade 3, your main grade 3 in foil, 1 copy, and the rest base, just like Chronojet. And in the entire deck, in the rest of the deck, only 1 card out of that will be randomly in foil. But in here, the foils are decided. So every at least a single copy of every card will be in foil. Run. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. There you go. I was looking for that. Anyways, now we have the rest of the ride line. We have Smoke Gear Dragon, Mazer Gear Dragon, and Chronodran. So Chronodran has the regular skills of all the first Vanguards in standard. Where if you're going, when this is ridden upon, if you're going second, draw card. Then you have Mazer Gear Dragon. So this card is really important because when this unit is placed by riding on Chronodran, so you have to play Chronodran here. Draw 1, so it's really good. If you're going first, you still get to draw card. And then get a Chronojet Dragon crest. So that crest is this thing here, and it's really nice. Comes in foil as well. This crest is a new mechanic that I'll explain real quick right now. So it has a bunch of skills here, and it's like a token. So you don't put in your main deck, and you essentially don't have this yet until you get it, until you obtain it using a card effect, or a card skill like Mazer Gear Dragon here. So essentially, because of this crest being kind of important in this deck, A lot of people in premium wanted more copies of Mesa Gear Dragon and Smoke Gear, but those cards are you get them only at one copy, but everything else comes in four except for one trigger, and of course the over trigger does not come in four copies, but everything else is in four except for the ride line, of course, and so for premium use, I can see why you would want four copies, but in standard you don't need those. So that I think that's why they didn't include more than one. Uh, so I'll explain the skills later, but then you have Smoke Gear Dragon. So when this unit is rode upon by a card with Chronojet in its card name. Sorry, a grade 3 with Chronojet in its card name, Soul Blast 1. Search your deck for a grade 3 and reveal it, add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. So that's nice. That essentially, that's important because I'll explain later. But now we're gonna get to the rest of the cards. We have Steam Fighter Balef, which is the other grade 3 that you run. So you really only run two types of grade 3s. So this card is really good because yeah, it is an counter card also, by the way. So um, its skill is GB2. During your turn, if any player's rear guards have been put in the bottom of the deck, then this unit gets power plus 10k continuous. So it's for that entire turn. So it's really nice. I want to mention quickly that this does not stack. So even if you do it more than once, as long as you do it once, you'll get power plus 10k. But more than once, it will not activate again. So it's just 23. And then when this unit is discarded for the cost of stride, then you can draw one. So that's really good, and I'll explain why again later. But basically, you can use him to pay for the stride cost, as he says, and you'll draw an extra card. So that's nice. Next, we have Upstream Dragon. This card's pretty good as well, and I'll explain later why. But GB1, when this unit attacks a Vanguard for that battle, this unit gets power plus 5k. At the end of the battle, put this unit at the bottom of the deck, and then you can search your card for one grade 1 and call it to a back row rear guard circle and shuffle your deck. So it is an auto skill, doesn't have a cost, so that means that it's not optional. You have to activate it. So I believe. Wait. Oh, sorry. Never mind. I made a slight mistake. It does have a cost, which is put this unit at the bottom of the deck. So that means it is optional. Sorry about that. So when it attacks, the part where it gets power plus 5k is always gonna happen. But to activate its next effect, which is to put him at the end of the battle, put him at the bottom, and then call grade 1 to back row, that the cost is putting him at the bottom of the deck. So that basically means it is optional, so you don't have to activate him going to the bottom of the deck. I wanted to explain that real quick. 4 copies of him as well. And then you have, this is actually not an encounter card, this is a new card, Steam Fighter Algendia, sorry. When this unit is put on Guardian Circle, Soul Blast 1 for that battle is shield plus 5k. If you have a face-up card in your G zone, not 5k, you get 10k instead. So that's really nice for one Soul Blast. And sorry, this is the foil version. My bad. It's supposed to be on top. Yeah. So I also want to mention that this means you can put it at you can call it to Guardian Circle from hand, its skill will activate, or you can intercept with it and then its skill will also activate. So that's pretty cool. Now we're gonna get into the other grade ones. The PG. So this is Team Fighter Alem, and this is also an encounter card. This is the original PG that Chrono used. So it's nice that she's back. It does what all the regular PGs do. You can choose one of the units doesn't get hit, and then if you have 2 or more, discard 1 card. And of course you get that at 4 copies as well. So yeah, just hold on a second. Yeah, there you go. Next, we get to um here we get to another new card that is not from that is not like from the OG. Uh, and it's I'm not sure how to sort of translate the kanji here. I guess something about like mechanical or something, or like gear or something. Anyways, its name here is Gear Cello. So during your turn, if any players or rear guards have been put to the bottom of their deck, then this unit gets power plus 5k, same like Belef, doesn't stack. And then the other skill, which is pretty neat, GB1, put this unit, this unit gets intercept, and then it can intercept from the back row. So that's nice. You get a 5k intercept just like that. You can call this out with Upstream Dragon, by the way. So it will act as an intercept to replace Upstream. So that's nice. And you have Steam Fighter GG. So this is also a pretty popular card, I think, back when it came out. And it was a card that Chrono did use. So it's an encounter card. When its unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you have a Chronojet Dragon Crest, so not a Chronojet Vanguard, but the crest here, that's why it's important. Then Soul Blast 2, draw a card, and then if this unit was placed by card's ability, then for that turn, power plus 5k, so it's a 13k booster, so that's really cool. Again, you can use Upstream Dragon to call her out, and then yeah, she gets power plus 5k, but you also get the draw card. The original was basically, I think, just on place Soul Blast 2, draw 1, so that additional effect is pretty nice here. And next, we have the final grade one, Steam Breath Dragon. So hand, when this unit when you would pay for the cost of stride, you can treat this unit as a grade 3. So cards with this ability, by the way, the players usually call them stride fodders. In case you're not aware, I just want to let you know that. And these stride fodders usually have another skill, which is they all usually have similar skills, which is that you can treat them as a grade 3 to pay for stride cost, but also you can search for that your specific boss grade 3 with these stride fodders. So in the original, you would call this and then discard a grade 3 card from your hand and search for Chronojet Dragon. But now its new skill is if you have a Chronojet Dragon crest, so again the crest, not a vanguard, this you can discard this unit, and the cost is discarding this unit, and then search your deck or your drop zone for a card for a grade 3 with Chronojet in its card name, and then reveal it, add it to your hand. If you search it from your deck, shuffle your deck. So with that, it becomes a searcher for Chronojet, and that's really good. Now we're gonna get to the triggers. Sorry if I am repeating certain words. I'm kind of tired, but I'm really excited about this and I want to talk about this. So next we have the triggers. We have the over trigger here. Of course, add one copy, but it's not in foil, as you can see. So that's kind of whack. It feels really weird that it's not in foil. Usually over triggers are in foil, and this is a bit of a rant, but if they were gonna release non-foil over triggers, I think this is not the right way to do it. They should have put these like type of cards, over triggers I mean, in set 6, so that people who want to buy over triggers for cheaper, since they're a little bit expensive now, they can get these basic non-foil ones for cheaper. And the original over triggers have foils, so those will remain there. Those will keep their prices. They'll keep the value, but they included it in this trial deck instead, which, to be honest, if you're like this is the base, by the way. The basic one, I'll explain what the premium one is later. Essentially, there's two products: basic, the basic stride deck set, and the premium one. I'll explain the differences again there. But since the basic one is like 5,500 yen, since you're paying quite a lot, it would have been nice to just get the foil one. So it sucks that they just give you this one instead of the one that's similar to grade to this one that's in set one. The set six ones are all double rare, so that kind of just makes it more expensive rather than making it cheaper. Kind of backfired there, pushy. But anyways, we have the triggers now. All of them are non-foil, 4 crits. By the way, all of the triggers here are cards that you can get in set 6 as well. They're basic triggers, they don't have skills. You have 4 draw as well. And this is the only card that comes in the Strike deck set that comes not at 4 copies but at 3, which is your front triggers. Uh, you only have 3 of those. And then you have, of course, 4 heals. And that's it. So, in the premium deck set, you get all of the cards in foil except for the triggers. And this crest, you get this regular crest, which is like this, but you also get another special crest, like a special version of this crest in that premium deck set, which I think costs about 20,000 yen, I guess. So that's a lot, but you also get a lot of stuff in that. You get whatever the base deck set has, uh, but all of them, all the cards in the decks are all foil. You get a really fancy looking crest on top of the regular one, and you also get a playmat as well, so that's really cool. Now we're gonna get to the G zone. So here we have the G zone, and just like in the main deck where you had some cards that were in foil, you had one card at least that was in foil. Here is the same thing. One card is in this like SP looking like SP looking foil, which is like super nice. It looks really good. You can see it here, and I'll show you this one as well. This is Faterider Dragon. So I'm actually surprised that they did this for the base deck set, and I really like it. I'm glad they did it. It's just really nice that at least one of the strides you get is an SP. But in the premium deck set, all of the strides are in SP. So I'll quickly, sorry, let me correct that. So this is Chrono Dragon Nextstage. Stride step. By the way, when you want to stride, it comes directly after your ride step. So after you ride a card, then you can stride. And again, I'll go into more detail in a bit. So striding has a cost, and usually the cost is like the same for all strides. But Chrono Dragon Nextstage here, this not the original one, but this new one has a different cost, and that is discard one grade 3 card with Chronojet in its card name, and then stride this unit on top of your Vanguard. So that's the cost for striding this. It's not in your main deck, by the way, it's in your G zone. It's like an extra deck. So yeah, so keep that in mind for those who like know already what stride is. The cost is different than the original Nextstage. And then its other skill is GB2. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, at the end of the battle, this unit attacks a Vanguard, CB1. Discard 2 cards from your hand to activate. Put this unit face up in your G zone, and then choose one of your Vanguards that has Chronojet in its card name, and stand it. That basically means stride this, put this face up in your G zone, and then your Chronojet Dragon can attack again. Yeah, I'll just put this here and put that there. Yeah. So you stride, attack, face up in G zone, and then stand it so you can attack again. And Chronojet's ability is like really strong. His GB2 skill again, his GB2 skill is that when this unit attacks a vanguard, for that battle, it gets fire plus 5k, and your opponent can call grade 1 or higher cards to Guardian Circle to guard. So that basically means your opponent cannot PG, and this deck makes a lot of power, so that's really strong. Oh, I forgot to explain the other skill as well, which is during your turn, when your G unit strides, counterblast 1 to activate, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, put it at the bottom of the deck, so that's really cool. Also, in case you're not sure, if you choose a card in the overdressed or cross overdressed state, all cards at the bottom of that, like overdressed or cross overdressed card, also go at the bottom. So, like if you choose Verina that's overdressed, Trickstar will also go to the bottom of the deck. Yeah. So, I guess I should talk about Faterider Dragon now. So it has a different cost from Chronojet Nextstage here. So stride step, discard cards from your hand that have a total grade of 3 or higher, and then discard them. So you can choose one grade 3 and discard it, or a grade 2 and a grade 1, for example. Also, and discard those. Then you can stride, that's the cost. So when this unit attacks, counterblast 1, take one card from your G zone, face down card from your G zone, and then flip it face up. Choose one of your rear guards, put them at the bottom of your deck. The bottom decking part is also part of the cost, by the way. So do that to activate. Choose one card. Search your deck for a card that is the same grade as the card that you put at the bottom for this card's cost. Plus 1. So if you choose a grade 2 and you put that at the bottom of your deck, you call a grade 3. If you choose a grade 1, then you call a grade 2. And then shuffle your deck and choose one of your units. It gets power plus 5k for each face up card in your G zone, so that's really strong. Since you're using him to put something else face up, that immediately means the card, like any other card you choose, will get 5k, just like that. So alongside with the crest, by the way, as well, and I'll explain the crest skills later. So that's basically it for all of the cards. Whoops, let me just get that here. So of course you get them at 4 copies each. So you have a G zone of 8 cards. And now I'll go into further detail about striding. So striding has conditions and costs as well, as you saw. So the conditions are you and your opponent need to be on a grade 3. That's the first condition. And then you can stride. The second condition is that at the start of your turn, you need to be on a grade 3. So out of these two conditions, only one needs to be fulfilled. So if you went second and your opponent rides grade 3 first, when you ride Chronojet Dragon, that turn you can stride, because both units are grade 3. Both vanguards are grade 3. But if you went first and if you went first and your opponent is not on a grade 3 yet, you cannot stride. But the next turn, let's say that you go second, by the way, and your opponent ride skips, for example, so that you don't get to stride on your first turn, on your first grade 3 turn, then even if they don't ride again, if they still stay on grade 2, on the next turn, because you started with a grade 3, that second condition will be fulfilled and you can stride. So keep that in mind. But of course, in standard, you can't like ride miss or anything like that, so they will of course go on a grade 3. But if you're fighting Chronojet and you don't want them to stride first, you can ride skip just so they don't get to stride for one turn, and then you can ride up when it comes back to your turn and try to beat them before they can stride, because after they do, they get really powerful. So I guess I'll talk about the crest and then the basic game plan, and I'll end the video. So the skills for this crest is that when this, so you can stride. So basically, this crest allows you to stride. In the original, in G, you didn't have this crest kind of thing, so you can just always stride. But in standard, you can't normally stride. You have to have this now to stride. Uh, you can stride, but you cannot ride a grade 3 or higher card that does not have Chronojet in its card name. So that means that if you're not playing Chronojet, sorry, if your Vanguard is not Chronojet Dragon, um, then you cannot stride. But actually, you just can't even ride anything else. So you cannot play Bruce and then ride over Chronojet Dragon with that, or you can't play the Grade 4 Bruce, for example, and ride it. So that sort of prevents it from, that sort of nerfs it from being too powerful, since with that means you would be able to mix it with all other decks, and all other decks will be able to stride, and that might just be a bit too crazy for now for standard. So they made it so that at least only Chronojet Dragon can stride because of that. Uh, and then your Chronojet Dragon, your grade 3 Chronojet, your grade 3 that has a Chronojet Dragon in its card name, its original power will be 13k, which, so even though it's 11k here with the crest, it'll be 13. So that will make sure it's not weak against every other deck, including the heart card. So I forgot about to explain the heart. I forgot to explain about the heart card, but I'll do that now. What the heart card basically means is that um, when you stride here, your G unit, which by the way, cards in the G zone here are called G units. Are they written somewhere? Anyways, they're called G units and not normal units or anything. And also, at the end of the turn that you strode, so you stride here. At the end of the turn, you put it back face up on your G zone. So heart card means your Vanguard. So when you stride, your Vanguard doesn't become part of your soul. It becomes something called your heart card, and that means that your Vanguard's original power will be added onto the stride. That's why the stride says 15k plus. So that means its original power will be 13k with the crest. It'll be 28 after you stride because 15k plus 13. And it will, your G unit will also get the name of the name of your heart card. So that means that Faterider Dragon here, his card name will not change. Instead, it will have an added name of Chronojet Dragon. So any card skills, let's say if you have a Vanguard with Chronojet Dragon in its card name, those will still activate, because now you have, even though you strode in its Faterider Dragon, since your heart card is Chronojet, you can treat it as Chronojet, for example. That's what heart card means. Yeah. And I'll explain GB as well, but afterwards. So, and then during your turn, if you have a card, a grade 3 card, during your turn, if you have a grade 3 Vanguard that has Chronojet in its card name, all of your front row units get power plus 5k for each face up card in the G zone. So that's really strong. And then at the start of your battle phase, you can choose a grade 3 or higher rear guard. Your grade 3 or higher rear guard, sorry. And then during that turn, you can lower its grade to a grade 0. So if you call another Chronojet, for example, with the crest at the start of your battle phase, you can turn to grade 0, and I'll explain why you would want to do that. So now let's get to Generation Break, which is what GB stands for. GB, or Generation Break, stands for the total amount of G units that is on your Vanguard circle and face up in your G zone. So when you first stride, since your G zone will have 0 cards face up, but you have 1 card here on your Vanguard, 1 G unit here, you'll have GB1. So you can activate any card skills that say GB1. Like Upstream Dragon, for example. Let me go get him. Here you go, Upstream Dragon. So you can activate any GB1 skills. Then after you're done with your turn, right? You uh, put it back face up in the G zone, and then next turn if you stride again, like let's say you stride Fate Rider again, now your G zone will have one card face up, and your Vanguard on your Vanguard circle you'll have one card face up as one G unit, sorry, up as well, and you have GB2 now. So this means that any skills like what Chronojet Dragon has here, GB2, can be activated. But that also means that you can still activate GB1 skills. So basically, if a card has GB1 and the number next to it, you can play it if you have that same amount or higher uh, G units face up in G zone or on like Vanguard Circle. So GB3, you can play GB1 and 2 and GB3 cards for skills, for example. Yeah. So I'll talk about the game plan now. So let's say that, alright, you rode Chronojet here, and then you have another grade 2. I don't know, let's say here. You have this. So you can do this. This is sort of the basic game plan. You go on to Chronojet Dragon, right? And then you stride. So actually, sorry, I'll go over it from the right line first. So uh, you ride Major Gear, grab the crest. So the crest, you don't actually have to keep it on the field or anything. You just have to keep it somewhere that your opponent can see, so they know you have the crest. Then you ride Smoke Gear Dragon, Smoke Gear skill, Soul Blast 1. Search your deck for a grade 3. So, at first, you're going to want to search for Balef, I think. Unless you already have a Balef in your opening hand, then you can search for Chronojet Dragon if you want. For the cost of Nextstage, that is. But if you don't have Balef, I recommend you grab Balef first. And then if you have Steam Breath Dragon, you can if you have Steam Breath Dragon in your hand, you can search for Chronojet. So if you don't have Balef, you search for him, grab him, and then you ride Chronojet Dragon, and let's say you're going second, so immediately you can stride. Then you stride by discarding Balef from your hand, and then you stride Faterider Dragon. You activate Chronojet Dragon skill, Counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, it goes to the bottom of the deck. Sorry, just imagine this is an opponent's rear guard. Choose one of them, goes to the bottom of the deck. So now what you're gonna want to do is with Faterider Dragon, you're gonna want to attack with your rear guards first. For example, you're gonna want to attack with Upstream Dragon. So you can do this. Attack with Upstream, his skill activates. Power plus 5k. At the end of the battle, you can put him at the bottom of your deck if you wish. Search for a grade 1, and then you can do this as well. You can search for Cello to Gear Cello to either have like an intercept, I guess, if you want, or you can call GG. And I do recommend that you sort of do this at first. So as when you have Soul Blast 2, that is. You call GG, and now her skill activates. Soul Blast 2 cards. Soul Blast those. And now you get to draw one card, and just imagine this is the hand. And she gets power plus 5k because it was called by a card's ability. Now you can attack with your rear guard here, boost with GG. And then there'll be 23k. Now you attack with your Vanguard. Pay the cost. So Counter Blast 1. You can choose GG if you want. For example, put her at the bottom of the deck. And then search for another card. So maybe you can search for Upstream Dragon, for example, if you want, or another Steam Fighter Argandia, or something like that. And then you have an additional attack. And with the crest, since for Faterider's skill cost, you needed to take a face down card, put it face up. That makes it so your front row now, alongside with the crest that is, will have power plus 5k. So Faterider is not 28, it's 31. And the card that you just called will be the card that you just called, for example here, will be 15 with the crest, and if you use Faterider skill to give him power, that makes it so he'll be 20k. So again, really powerful. Uh, and that's essentially what your first turn will probably gonna is probably going to be like. Sorry, where's the GG? Here it is. So now, since you have two face-up cards in your G zone, you can active Chronojet Dragon's effect skill will activate if you don't strike next turn. So there's that. But next turn you are gonna want to stride into Nextstage. So for example, if you don't have this Chronojet Dragon in your hand, you can activate Steam Breath Dragon, discard it, search for Chronojet Dragon. Then Chronojet Dragon skill will activate. Not activate. Sorry. Um. Sorry. Uh. In your main phase. That is. Keep in mind, this is not like you have to activate Steam Breath Dragon in your main phase. So in that previous turn, let's say you didn't have a Chronojet Dragon in hand, then you can discard Steam Breath and you can grab Chronojet, and that will mean you can set up for the next turn. So you discard Chronojet Dragon and you stride onto that's not next stage. Sorry. You stride onto, let me move this out of the way. Stride onto next stage. So now next stage's skill will of course activate since you are at GB3 now, and it's just GB2. So when you're on next stage, the plan is to attack with next stage first. Now you're gonna want to attack with Vanguard first, then activate its skill, discard two cards from your hand, discard them, and then sorry, I'll put that there, like that, attack, and then perform your drive check. By the way, these G units, Great Wars, have triple drive, so that's really cool. So you perform drive check at the end of the battle, pay the cost, put him face up in your G zone, and now choose your Chronojet Dragon and stand it. So now you have 3 face up cards in your G zone, and thanks to the crest, your entire front row will have power plus 5k. So now that's 15k. So 25, 13 plus 15, so 28, and then of course 25. So now when you attack with Chronojet Dragon, which you can do by the way with after you attack with your rears first or something like that, or you can attack with rear first, 25, keep that there, and then attack with Van. So you attack with Vanguard, and now his GB2 skill will activate and he'll be 28k Twin Drive, and your opponent cannot guard with PGs. So yeah, the longer the game goes on, the more cards you can put face up in your G zone, and that will just make your entire field, your entire front row, I mean a giant beat stick. So essentially you attack your opponent that way. And you can also put down their own intercepts, or they're like a really annoying cards using Chronojet's stride skill. And that's basically how you play that's like the basic game plan. Of course, this is just what I think. If you have a different way you want to play, or like sort of a different idea on how to play, you can play it that way. But this is just to sort of give those who are not familiar with this deck like sort of an idea on how to play. So yeah, that's about it for the deck. I really hope you enjoyed this video, even though it was kind of long, but I had a lot to say, so thank you for bearing with me for this long, really, and I'm just super excited. The English version will be coming out on February 24th, so look forward to that for English players. And I tried to explain everything in this video, but if I forgot to explain something, let me know. If you have any questions as well, you can ask in the comments below and I'll answer. So yeah, just really thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you guys are excited for Chronojet Dragon in G. I mean in standard, not G. See you guys in the next video. Bye.